Welcome to the Butterfly Effect. I'm Chris Horner, and this is the last stage of Tour of Romandie 2021, Stage 5. It's a TT, 16 kilometers long, and nothing's flat. When the riders start, they'll go out. Shortly, within the first 3 or 4 minutes, they'll hit a cobblestone climb right away, and that's going to open up their legs. You've got to have good legs on a 16-kilometer time trial right from the start, or there's no chance of winning, and of course, general classification is going to be out the window, because everybody up in the top 10 can all ride their bikes when we're talking about the 5th stage of a week-long stage race like Tour of Romandie. Yesterday was that exciting finish. Garrett Thomas added a little bit of drama to today's stage when he crashed and slipped his hands off the handlebar and went down hard and lost 15-20 seconds right there in the crash. So we got a little bit of drama on today's stage, but Michael Woods, we all know, is not a fantastic time trialist, but we have Richie Porte. He's still back there, just 20-30 seconds behind on the general classification. So a good time trial from Richie Porte could actually net him the win here at Tour of Romandie over his teammate Garrett Thomas. When the race starts, Stefan Bessinger, the EF education rider's putting out the time to beat. It will get beat soon though, because it'll be Remy Cavagna, the Deceuninck Quick-Step rider, who puts in a stellar ride. We didn't get to see a whole lot of his ride on this particular stage. He started earlier. We got snippets on it throughout the stage. He was fast on the descents and just bombing through the descents in the aero position, taking all kinds of risks when he's passing riders to take the win on today's stage 5. Remy Cavagna, Deceuninck Quick-Step, was absolutely on fire. Now, there's still a little bit of drama left when you're sitting on the couch, because you know there's favorites like Garrett Thomas and Richie Porte that are still to come. Conditions start to change a little bit on the course. They get a little bit wetter throughout the stage. But oddly enough, it's dry at the start and more or less kind of dry at the finish, but soaking wet throughout the middle of the stage. Welcome to Europe. That's the way it is. Okay, Richie Porte takes off. He's doing a stellar time. Gets to the halfway point, and he's only a few seconds behind Remy Cavagna's time. But just behind is Garrett Thomas, who's doing absolutely blazing speed back there. And he'll go through the halfway checkpoint actually up by half a second on Remy Cavagna's time. So we know he's going fast. Just behind him's race leader, the Canadian, Michael Woods, back there getting ready to leave the ramp. He'll take off, but he clearly does not have the time trial legs that we are hoping to see at this year's edition. He'll lose the general classification. He'll finish 5th overall on the GC stage. For me personally, in 2007 when I had the race leader's jersey, I was much like Michael Woods. So I know what he's feeling the day before and the day of. If he's anything like me, I was calm and relaxed. I knew when I won the jersey on the mountain stage that I was going to lose it in the time trial. There's just nothing you can do about it. You have to be happy with what you're gifted with as a cyclist. I was gifted the climb. Michael Woods is gifted with some power and speed, and now he's getting the ability to get over these bigger climbs and win these stages. I raced against Michael Woods here in the U.S. He has great power. He has great acceleration. Multiple times he can accelerate to try to drop you, and his power is quite impressive. I always knew in 2015 that when I was racing against Michael Woods, he was the one rider in the U.S. that I knew could go over to Europe and perform well. But for certain, there's no reason for Michael Woods to leave this race feeling anything but upbeat and focused for the races to come. It's not in his wheelhouse to be winning time trials. It wasn't before Tour of Romandie started, and it wasn't when today's stage started either. So he should be calm, relaxed, keep that golden form going, because you got bigger objectives coming up in this year's 2021. With the Tour de France right around the corner, that's what all the riders are going to be eyeing. Now back in the stage, Garrett Thomas is flying. I told you he already took the lead at the halfway point. He's wise when they go down the descent before they start the final climb to the finish. He takes it a bit easier. You could see throughout the stage he was on the gas, power the whole time. Then when he comes down the last descent before we're going across the bridge, he's going to relax a little bit, and you can see him not taking any risks there, and I'm sure that's probably where he lost a lot of his time there to Remy Cavagna. Remy Cavagna was flying down that descent. There's no doubt about it. And when you look at the speed differences between Remy Cavagna and Geraint Thomas, I'm pretty certain that's where you'll see a lot of that time lost from Geraint Thomas was right there on that last descent. Smart move, win the general classification, worry about stage wins later. This is Geraint Thomas's first win since 2018 Tour de France. Now, he had spectacular form at that 2018 Tour de France, and we haven't seen that since. But as a professional rider, form is really fragile. It's crazy when you watch other sports, NFL, football, baseball. Those guys could be injured for months, come back, and play the next game and be fabulous. In cycling, you are always on a knife edge in terms of good form and not good form. If you take too many days rest, it's over. For us fans and viewers here of G. Thomas, I want to put out some words to G. Thomas's friends and pub mates. Take it easy on the guy. When he comes home from Tour of Romandie now, we got the Tour de France coming up. We all know G. Thomas loves the pub and loves hanging out with the friends. So take it easy on him. If you're his good friend, don't take him out drinking. Just go hang out with him, have some iced tea and a salad, and call it good because Tour de France is right around the corner. This is not the time for vacation. All the riders that are doing the Giro are going to leave from here and go straight to the Giro. The rest of the riders that are focusing on the Tour de France, this is when they're going to take a break. It's not vacation. It's a little bit of off the throttle. You don't want to lose a lot of form. You just want to back the throttle down. You want a few more hours of rest during the week for the first week after this race to recover a little bit, and then you want to get right back into the training. But it's not vacation. We need Geraint Thomas 100% at 2021 Tour de France so we could watch a great race, because he's going to have to fight two fantastic Slovenians, and he better come with that 2018 form if he stands any chance of winning. 2019 form ain't going to cut it. He suffered in 2019. I know he finished second overall, but he had even help from his teammates on the last climb there to make that happen. He's got very good form leaving Tour of Romandie, but remember, he didn't have to battle against the Slovenians here, and so that's a big difference, and the pressure was off. Ineos were fabulous with their racing throughout this week. A couple mistakes where Richie Porte and G. Thomas, I think, should have chased a little bit sooner and harder together when Marc Soler won that stage. They gave up time there to Soler, but they can make it back up. Yesterday's stage, you see the accident there with the crash with G. Thomas. They lost more time, and then they're still able to make it up. In a week-long stage race, when you can continue to make up that kind of time for mistakes on tactics and crashes and unforeseen obstacles happening, you know your team is riding fabulous when you finish not only first on general classification with G. Thomas, but second with Richie Porte. A little shout out there to the Deceuninck Quick-Step rider, Fausto Masnada, who finished third on the podium just by a couple seconds. Michael Woods finishes fifth on the general classification. Great ride. I believe it's the same spot I finished in 2007 when I had a race leader's jersey too. So Michael Woods, I feel for you. I know what you're going through. No big deal. Flip it off the shoulder, stay focused, and get going. Richie Porte, the old man, he's always going to be focused and good, especially when the Tour de France comes. So G. Thomas, man, do us a favor. G. Thomas's mom, when I won the Vuelta, I was down in Phoenix, Arizona, training hard after recovering from a knee surgery, and I weighed 132 pounds, and I'm 41 years old. And my mom looked at me, and she just kept trying to feed me the whole time. Every time we went out to dinner, I said, Mom, I got objectives coming up. I need to stay focused. Moms out there, especially G. Thomas's mom, take it easy on the guy. Your friends, take it easy on the guy. Keep him focused. Let's get to the Tour de France and have a spectacular Tour de France. Hope you guys liked the butterfly effect. Hope you loved Tour of Romandie this week. It was great racing. Always spectacular, these last three stages here at Tour of Romandie. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you real soon.